Loading Outbound Training Script. Introduction. Welcome to Standard Operation Procedure Training. Today, we'll be going over the Loading Outbound Supply, SOP. In the distribution process, we follow guidance that ensures our transport vehicle containers don't pose food safety risks, and all products are loaded following quality expectations. First, definitions. First, let's get familiar with some key terms you'll encounter. Outbound supply. This refers to the products we load onto containers for delivery to customers, suppliers, or other company locations. Load plan. This is our roadmap. It details how products should be loaded for quality assurance and ease of delivery. The load plan also considers the refrigerated space needed for temperature-sensitive products. Pre-cooling. This is when we prepare the transport vehicle container to the right temperature before loading temperature-sensitive products. Ambient temperature. Simply put, this is the temperature inside the container before any refrigeration starts. Bulkheads are a dividing wall or barrier within the transport vehicle container to separate temperature-controlled compartments. Having these definitions clear will help us understand why each step in the process is so important. Second, process guidance. From the time product or returned equipment is on the transport vehicle container, they should be thought of as mobile warehouses. We employ the same practices as we do in the warehouse, including temperature controls, glass and foreign object protection, maintenance, and sanitation. The cleanliness of our containers is paramount to food safety and product quality compliance. Before we start loading, there are a few important checks to make sure everything is up to this standard. Keep dock doors closed. This prevents pests, helps maintain the right temperature, and keeps our facility secure. This type of security breach can allow a potential source of contamination that would threaten a customer's product. Inspect the container's interior. Is there any structural damage to the container? Is it clean? Are there any signs of pests, odors, or damage? Are there signs of broken glass? Record these findings on the pre-cooling record. Inform your supervisor if any of these conditions exist, so arrangements can be made for its cleaning or the use of an alternative container. Third, pre-cooling guidelines. Once the trailer is inspected, determined acceptable for product loading, the next step in the loading process is to determine that the trailer has been pre-cooled as to accommodate temperature-controlled product. Pre-cooling is critical to maintaining food safety and product quality. There are two main components. Temperature set points, ensuring the container is cooled to the right temperature for the product. Loading procedures, following steps to maintain those temperatures during loading. Fourth, temperature set points. Here's what you need to know about setting temperatures. Freezer zone, set to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Refrigerated zone, set to 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Containers must be cooled to below 40 degrees Fahrenheit before loading begins. One thing to keep in mind is that the duration for pre-cooling can vary based on the outside temperature, so we need to monitor and adjust accordingly to maintain both product quality and fuel efficiency. If your load plan indicates that refrigerated product is scheduled for the route, and in most cases it will, the container must be pre-cooled following the company's good distribution practice for container pre-cooling. Fifth, loading procedures. With all the control conditions reviewed, it's time to begin loading the transport vehicle. Products designated for loading were previously selected, placed on pallets or carts, and shrink-wrapped for product protection during transport. Products are then placed in predetermined staging locations, segregated by route. Confirm the units are adequately shrink-wrapped, maintaining product integrity. Once loaders are provided the load plan, loading can begin. Follow the load plan. The load plan ensures we place products in the best way for delivery and quality assurance. When loading, you must never deviate from this pre-designed plan because it may adversely affect the outcome of our delivery process. If any problems arise during the loading process, or you identify a load plan inconsistency, inform your supervisor for directions. Now, let's talk about how we load the containers. Check the temperature. Make sure the container is below 40 degrees Fahrenheit before loading. Temperature-sensitive products. These must never be loaded on non-temperature controlled docks. Turn off the docked container's rear unit during loading. Record container temperatures on the pre-cooling record. Use bulkheads. These help to maintain the different temperature zones in the container. When loading temperature-sensitive items, pay close attention to bulkhead placement as outlined in the load plan. Secure each bulkhead immediately after completing a container zone and notify the appropriate person to restart the reefer unit for that zone. These steps are critical to maintaining product quality and safety. Failure to follow them can lead to temperature abuse. Use blankets. If the load plan includes using blankets to separate frozen and refrigerated items, ensure they are clean, in good condition, and securely fitted to fully isolate the product from ambient air. If a blanket is damaged, stop loading and contact your supervisor for guidance. Load product. It is your responsibility to take care not to damage, crush, or in any way compromise the customer's product. If you observe an unsafe condition, a load plan inconsistency, or have any uncertainty, contact your supervisor for directions. Follow all good distribution practices. During the loading process, confirm if applicable GDPs like chemicals, allergens, fresh proteins, and shelled egg protocols are being followed to avoid cross-contamination with other foodstuffs. If irregularities are identified, you should stop the loading process and notify your supervisor for direction. Sixth, temperature control. Let's look at how we manage temperature during loading to keep the cold chain intact. Use cold docks for frozen and refrigerated products. If staging on the dock exceeds 30 minutes, frozen product temperatures must be monitored to stay within food safety limits. Record monitoring activities on the CCP-2 cold dock monitoring log. Handle temperature deviations immediately. If the dock temperature goes above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, close the container doors between movements and store the product in its designated temperature zone. Suspend loading temporarily until conditions are corrected. No staging on non-refrigerated docks. This rule is non-negotiable for temperature-controlled products. Continuous temperature monitoring. Containers are equipped with systems that enable product temperatures to be continuously monitored throughout the route. Drivers will also be ensuring product temperatures are within limits during deliveries. 7. Responsibilities. Loaders. Loaders have the primary role in the loading outbound supply process, including ensuring the container meets sanitation and pre-cooling requirements. Follow guidelines for eggs, chemicals, fresh proteins, and other products. Complete the pre-cooling record and report any issues. Use proper staging practices, bulkheads, and blankets to maintain temperature control. Most importantly, practice dock safety at all times. Supervisors. Supervisors provide support for loaders, including guidance regarding this standard operating procedure, communicating with transportation personnel. They'll ensure food safety practices are followed, monitor staging times, and confirm containers meet temperature requirements. They also handle corrective actions and keep dispatch updated on load completion. Warehouse manager. The warehouse managers ensure everyone is trained and prepared to carry out their roles effectively. They counsel supervisors and employees regarding this standard operation procedure. Quality lead PCQI. The quality lead conducts audits, provides feedback, and ensures any non-conformance is corrected. They are also responsible for keeping procedures current and in compliance with all regulatory and customer requirements. Transportation supervisor. This role oversees container pre-cooling and ensures containers are ready for loading. Conclusion. That wraps up our overview of the loading supply SOP. By following these steps, we ensure that our warehouse runs smoothly, products remain safe and of high quality, and we meet our responsibility to customers and the community. The information we covered is essential for you to perform your job properly. SOPs are readily available, and you should refer to them if you have questions about their application. Thanks for your attention. If you have questions regarding this training, please contact your training supervisor or manager.